The premise of Athena and Hen going to space in the upcoming season of 911 is utterly ridiculous, only slightly more believable than Tej and Roman driving a rocket car into space in F9. Fans had good reason to side-eye the 911 Season 9 trailer that shows Angela Bassett's Athena in space alongside Aisha Hines' Hen. In the rankings of 9-1's absurdly over-the-top disasters, it might rank as number 1. And yet, as silly as it is, her trip to space in 911 Season the 9th of may be the event that finally gives Athena the emotional release and closure she needs to properly say goodbye to Bobby and let him go. Bobby Nash's death in 911 Season 8 was shocking, and everyone will navigate their grief in their own way this season. None, however, will have a heavier emotional burden to bear than Athena, Bobby's widow. Athena will throw herself into work in 911 Season 9. Angela Bassett as Athena Grant in 911. We already know that Athena confronting her grief over the loss of Bobby will be delayed this season. In an earlier interview about 911 Season 9, Angela Bassett explained, "I don't think it's going to be, that real sad grieving process that we're used to seeing. Athena will be throwing herself back into work. You can't catch her. She won't land somewhere. She keeps moving. Keeps distracting herself." It makes sense for the character of Athena Grant. The lapped field sergeant has always been driven and no nonsense, but being with Bobby Nash and eventually marrying him opened her up and softened her edges. At heart, though, Athena is still one to ignore pain and lose herself in work rather than confront the grief that might break her. Athena has always been the strong one, and it appears we won't see her deep in her grief when the season starts. Just because her grief is delayed, however, doesn't mean that we won't see it. The people who deny their grief and bury themselves in work to distract themselves from it are often the ones feeling the most. If Athena let herself feel it all at once, she may collapse. With how deeply she loved Bobby, though, there's no doubt that the pain and grief will have sunk their roots deep into her in 911 Season 9. As such, the space mission could transform her, as absurd as it is. The perspective of seeing Earth from space could help Athena to let Bobby go. Angela Bassett as Athena Grant with Peter Krause as Bobby Nash in 911. Athena Grant will head to space this season in a storyline most likely tied to the asteroids or falling satellites shown in the 911 Season 9 teaser. Both Hen and Athena were shown suiting up in astronaut training suits, and then in space. Setting aside the completely implausible premise of NASA allowing a random lapped cop and LAFD firefighter to go on a space mission, it could be a transformative experience for both women, but especially for Athena. It's a common refrain among astronauts who have been to space and had the privilege of looking down on our small, blue planet that the experience filled them with a mix of joy and appreciation for Earth. Seeing Earth, our only home, from so far away gave them a completely new perspective in an instant and injected them with a profound sense of gratitude for life. The other side of the coin, and equally well documented, is what William Shatner experienced and recounted in his now famous essay on his experience of going to space, via Variety. That feeling, Shatner went on to explain, is called the overview effect, and astronauts including Sally Ride and Yuri Gagarin have reported feeling it. As author Frank White explained in 1987, all the ideas and concepts that divide us when we are on the surface begin to fade from orbit and the moon. The result is a shift in worldview, and in identity. In other words, one's entire mindset is rearranged in seconds, and it clarifies what really matters. It's not known how Athena will react when she goes to space, but it's hard to believe that she could look down on Earth and fail to be moved in a profound way. We're all made of stardust, and to stardust we return. Bobby is part of them now. So, in a strange way, being farther from Earth, but closer to the stars may help Athena feel closer to Bobby. It could be the moment we see her overcome with grief over losing Bobby, finally giving way to her emotions in a cathartic release. That's not to say that Bobby's death is small or insignificant. While meaningless in the vast scope of the universe, to Athena, he was the meaning of her entire universe, and that matters. It matters deeply. It would be fitting, then, if Athena were to finally begin the process of truly letting him go when she's a little bit closer to that wider universe that we see every night when we look at those stars. 9-1's disasters are often ridiculous, but the show never forgets the humanity at their center. Chris O'Donnell as Don Hart and Michael Provost as Ryan Hart in 911 Nashville. ABC. That's what has driven 911 for 8 seasons, soon to be 9. Yes, the disasters are absolutely ridiculous. The fictional Los Angeles of 911 would be smoldering rubble if all of the natural disasters that befell it in the show were to happen in reality. A massive earthquake, aka the Big One, a tsunami, a solar storm, even a tornado, the first responders of 911 have seen it all. Yet, it works because the show has always remembered to anchor the drama in the characters and the humanity of the moments. The disasters are over the top, but it doesn't matter. It's what happens in the world of 911, and the only thing that matters to the main characters is saving people and each other.